Russian ambassador to the United Nations, Vassily Nebenzia, blasted Europe for warmongering and refusing peace, even after Trump and Putin met. He said EU leaders exaggerate drone incidents to justify rearmament while avoiding real solutions.
And you see what is happening in Europe today. They are seriously preparing for the war in Russia. This drone wall, the rearmament, people who pretend to be serious, seriously speak that Russia is preparing to attack Europe. I mean, this warmongering. You know, when that's like in the old Russian play, that when the rifle is hanging on the wall, one day it will fire, even without being pressed. These talks are not leading us to anywhere where we can resolve these things. Europe is of course culturally very close to Russia, but look at the state of the European politics today. I mean, they are miserable, simply miserable. Where are these people?
Europe responded with panic rather than strategy. The drone wall, a multi-layered network modeled on Ukraine's defenses, was promoted by Antonio Costa and Ursula von der Leyen as a symbol of unity and control.
When Denmark, Poland, or Estonia act against incursions into their airspaces, they are protecting our common borders and territory, those of the European Union. They have our full support because we are committed to face together common threats on all fronts, whether conventional, hybrid or cyber, with common purpose. In fact, that purpose has been clear since the start of Russia's war in Ukraine, and that purpose has a name: to build the Europe of defence.
Yet the summit revealed cracks. Politico reported hours of discussion produced little of substance, exposing Europe's indecision, lack of funding, and weak coordination. A facade of unity covering real vulnerabilities. Denmark reported drones over airports and military bases last week. While EU leaders blamed Russia, Moscow called the flights routine, highlighting Brussels' tendency to inflate threats.
I want to express my solidarity with the member states whose airspace has been violated: Poland, Romania, Estonia, and of course, most recently, Denmark. These violations are part of hybrid war tactics. And these are threats that demand a strong and determined reaction and answer from Europe, because every European citizen and every square centimetre in Europe has to be safe. So we must provide the strongest of deterrents at scale and at speed.
Behind the scenes, EU politics remain chaotic. Moscow accused Brussels of blindly following Washington instead of engaging with Russia directly, ignoring opportunities for de-escalation.
They stupidly refuse to engage with Russia, thinking that they can solve it themselves, but they're not solving them themselves. They're still looking across the ocean. Whatever comes out of they will follow. And indeed, after Anchorage, after there were some signs on the horizon that the conflict may take a positive turn, they rushed to the White House to convince Trump that it shouldn't be done, and that he should continue to make Trump engage in what he calls Biden.
Meanwhile, EU leaders frame Ukraine as Europe's first line of defense, pledging more aid and weapons. Russia, however, remains patient and measured, insisting it poses no threat to European nations However, it comes with a warning.
Nobody denies that, even those who don't like it, and the role of the global south, that it requires and demands to play in the international arena. So we are witnessing tectonic changes in the world. The question is that these tectonic changes should be political and hopefully not military, so to say, because too much conversations about the Third World War.
The EU leaders' family photo in Copenhagen symbolized unity, but analysts say the summit exposed Brussels' limits. As drones continue to probe borders, the drone wall remains largely symbolic, a warning that Europe is eager to blame Russia while struggling to secure its own skies.